are pronounced using the backward part of the tongue and the soft palate. You pronounce the words big and head together. Big head. Gh. Gh say ghar.
So we have काम करना, खाना खाना, खाना बनाना, क्रिकेट खेलना, खो खो खेलना, कविताएं लिखना, हिंदी सीखना, टीवी देखना एंड घूमने जाना. करना to do, banana to make, खाना to eat, खेलना to play, देखना to see or to watch, seekhna to learn, लिखना to write, and घूमने जाना to travel or to go on a vacation.
Namaste friends, आप सब कैसे हैं? Today we are going to learn the verb conjugation in present habitual tense. Now why am I calling it habitual tense? Because we are going to talk about the actions that occur repetitively or on a regular basis. For example, the earth moves around the sun. I go to school. I play football. So these are some actions that take place repetitively or on a regular basis. So this is present habitual tense. काम करना is to do work. खाना खाना is literally eat food. हिंदी सीखना is learn Hindi. फुटबॉल खेलना is to play football. टीवी देखना is to watch TV. गाने सुनना is to listen to the songs, and कविताएं लिखना is to write poems. Now in each of these pairs, the second word is the verb and the first word is the object. Fine. Now, to conjugate it in present habitual tense, we just have to remove the na, the final na from every verb. Now it becomes kar, kha, seek, खेल, देख, सुन, लिख. We have to add ta or te or ti according to the subject. For example, we add ta when we are talking about singular and informal masculine subject. We add te if we are talking about plural or formal masculine subject. And in all feminine cases, we add ti. Okay, for example, karta, karte, karti. Karta, karte, and karti, which is followed by the auxiliary verb hona, which can be whom, hai, ho, or hain. In case of a female subject, we'll always use the ti form, that is karti, khati, seekhti, khelti, irrespective of formal, informal, plural, or singular. That's fine. Here you can see that I have conjugated the verb seekhna to learn in present habitual tense. Now, as we see, मैं हिंदी सीखता हूँ. If मैं is a boy or a man. If मैं, that is the person who is speaking, is a girl, that person would say मैं हिंदी सीखती हूँ. मैं हिंदी सीखता हूँ. मैं हिंदी सीखती हूँ. I learn Hindi. Talking about second person, informal. तू हिंदी सीखता है. Why ta? Because the subject, that is tu, is male singular. That is, the person I'm talking to is a boy. For example, I'm talking to Alexander. I would say, Alexander, तू हिंदी सीखता है. Alexander, you learn Hindi, but only when Alexander is a very close friend of mine. Otherwise, this can be disrespectful because tu is the most informal way to address you in Hindi. ठीक है? So for a girl, it would be तू हिंदी सीखती है. ठीक है? For example, Simran, तू हिंदी सीखती है. Or if I want to ask a question, Simran, तू हिंदी सीखती है क्या? Simran, do you learn Hindi? Alexander, तू हिंदी सीखता है क्या? Alexander, तू हिंदी सीखता है क्या? Alexander, do you learn Hindi? So, tu is the most informal form. You can only use it with your younger siblings and the people who are very close friends of yours. Okay. So, talking about third person singular. ये और वो और person, for example, नीरज. नीरज हिंदी सीखता है. नीरज learns Hindi. और नीरजा हिंदी सीखती है. नीरजा learns Hindi. That's easy. So till now we have seen that seekhta for masculine singular, informal, and seekhti for female. Now comes the form te for masculine. Tum and aap are semi-formal and formal address for you. Tum Hindi सीखते हो. आप हिंदी सीखते हैं. Now we are using the plural form because they are semi-formal and formal. Whenever we have to give more respect in Hindi, we use the plural form. The plural form is also used if you are talking about third person singular but you want to give respect. For example, if you want to say my uncle learns Hindi, it would be मेरे चाचा जी हिंदी सीखते हैं. मेरे सीखते. It would never be मेरा चाचा जी हिंदी सीखता है. We know that it's singular, we know that it's one person, but we'll use मेरे and सीखते. मेरे चाचा जी हिंदी सीखते हैं because we have to give respect, so we'll use the plural form. Or for चाची जी also, मेरी चाची जी हिंदी सीखती हैं. हैं. The nasal form shows respect. The nasal form is for plural and hence it shows respect. So, तुम हिंदी सीखते हो, आप हिंदी सीखते हैं, and all the plural forms also use they. We is हम. हम हिंदी सीखते हैं. So, if we includes only men or a group of men and women, we would say हम हिंदी सीखते हैं. If the group contains only women, we would say हम हिंदी सीखती हैं. Is that clear? Third person plural. ये, वो और बच्चे. बच्चे हिंदी सीखते हैं. The kids learn Hindi. If the kids are only boys or boys and girls both, we'll use बच्चे हिंदी सीखते हैं. If the kids are only girls, I would use बच्चियाँ. बच्चियाँ हिंदी सीखती हैं. ये बच्चे हिंदी सीखते हैं. These kids learn Hindi. ये बच्चियाँ हिंदी सीखती हैं. These girls learn Hindi. The next is तुम लोग and आप लोग. तुम लोग and आप लोग is nothing but the plural form of तुम and आप. I think this was not so difficult if you have been following the lessons with me till now. In case you have any doubts, you can comment below and I will suggest you which lessons you must watch to clear these doubts. You can clearly see that in case of female subject, the verb does not change. The main verb does not change. Only the auxiliary verb, that is hona, changes. Okay, so now the next thing that we need to do is doing the same thing with other verbs. Now I've written that in Hindi songs will be Hindi gaane, and to listen or to hear is sunna. Now I want to write, I'm a boy, I listen to Hindi songs. How would it be in Hindi? Okay, so subject is I, so of course मैं. I listen to Hindi songs. The verb is सुनना. So मैं सुनता हूँ. हूँ because मैं. Okay, so with मैं always comes हूँ, and सुनता because I'm a boy. See, ठीक है. In Hindi, a normal sentence always ends with the verb. Okay, so we have here the main verb and the auxiliary verb. ठीक है. मैं सुनता हूँ. What? मैं हिंदी गाने सुनता हूँ. Okay. If I want to say my elephant listens to Hindi songs. Now my elephant would be मेरा हाथी. मेरा हाथी. So my elephant listens to Hindi songs. How would it be? The subject has changed from मैं to मेरा हाथी. So it would be मेरा हाथी हिंदी गाने सुनता है. ठीक है. मेरा हाथी सब्जेक्ट, हिंदी गाने ऑब्जेक्ट, सुनता है वर्ब. मैं हिंदी गाने सुनता हूँ. मेरा हाथी हिंदी गाने सुनता है. मेरी बिल्ली भी हिंदी गाने सुनती है. So all my family listens to Hindi songs. That मेरी बिल्ली भी हिंदी गाने सुनती है. So my cat also listens to Hindi songs. We know that कविताएं लिखना is writing poems. लिखना is to write and कविताएं means poems. And the word kavi is for poet. I want to say that Vijay is a poet. He writes poems. Okay, Vijay is a poet. He writes poems. So how would I write Vijay is a poet? Vijay एक कवि है. ठीक है. Vijay is a poet. He writes poems. So वो कविताएं लिखता है. Okay. Now I want to write Vijay's dad is also a poet. He also writes poems. Okay. Now I've written विजय के पिता भी एक कवि हैं. Vijay's dad. The subject is विजय के पिता. Vijay's dad. भी also एक कवि हैं. Is also a poet. वो भी कविताएं लिखते हैं. He also writes poems. I've used हैं because I'm talking about Vijay's dad, so I have to give respect to him. That's why I've used हैं instead of है. Okay, is that clear? Now have a look at this. For every day is rose, park or ground is मैदान, and kids is बच्चियाँ. I want to say kids play football in the park every day. ठीक है. Kids play football in the park every day. We know football खेलना is playing football. So how would it be in Hindi? बच्चियाँ रोज, बच्चियाँ रोज मैदान में फुटबॉल खेलती हैं. Now, your question would be, okay, how would I know what shall be the order of the different parts of a sentence? The simplest thing is word shall start with the subject, it will end with the verb, it has to end with the verb, and just before the verb comes the object, and rest of the details come in between the subject and the object. Okay, so बच्चियां रोज मैदान में फुटबॉल खेलती हैं. The kids play football in the park every day. Is that clear? And remember, the common mistake is placing may before मैदान. So this does not happen in Hindi, because in Hindi there is no preposition. In Hindi there are postposition. So if I write may here, may will go with rose. So in order to write in the park or in the ground, I have to write may after मैदान. Is that clear? So we can divide the sentence into these parts. बच्चियां रोज मैदान में फुटबॉल खेलती हैं. ठीक है? Now, the next one is Shalini's brother eats a lot. We know that eating is khana, a lot is bahut, and brother is bhai. So Shalini's brother is the subject. So first let me write the subject. शालिनी का भाई भाई. Now the verb is eats, खाता है. Okay, why not खाते हैं? Because it's informal. And why not खाती है? Because we are talking about शालिनी का भाई. We are not talking about शालिनी की बहन. Okay, so शालिनी का भाई बहुत खाता है. Shalini ka bhai eats a lot. Shalini's brother eats a lot. Shalini's dad also eats a lot. Shalini के पापा भी बहुत खाते हैं. Now, is everything clear to you? If there is any doubt, you can ask me in comments. Of course, I'll reply to you. Now, the next is my mother-in-law watches TV all the day. All the day is पूरे दिन. पूरे दिन, all the day. Mother-in-law is सास. ठीक है? Now because she is mother-in-law, we have to talk with respect. So, my mother-in-law, मेरी सास. Now, why I've used मेरी? Because this person is a female. Mera or meri does not depend upon the speaker. Mera or meri depends upon the gender of the noun that is followed. So meri saas watches TV. So verb is always at the end. TV dekhti hai. TV dekhti hai. Okay, all the day, पूरे दिन. मेरी सास पूरे दिन टीवी देखती हैं. मेरी सास पूरे दिन टीवी देखती हैं. पता है? पता है? Or you can ask, you can add पता है here. पता है? पता है means kind of. Do you know that? Do you know? Do you know my mother-in-law watches TV all the day? पता है मेरी सास पूरे दिन टीवी देखती हैं. This was all about how to make sentences in present habitual tense. Now here I'm gonna finish this lesson. If you have any doubt, please ask in the comments. And your homework is to practice making sentences in present habitual tense using the verbs. I will correct if there are any errors. And the next lesson will be negation. I suggest you not to miss that lesson of negative verbs. After a few lessons, I'm going to make a class only for practicing present habitual tense. I'll make some exercises for you. तो अब मैं चलता हूँ. फिर मिलेंगे. सब अपना ध्यान रखिए. नमस्ते.